What a rousing way to start. Thank you. We're going to all stand, and we're going to start with an original chant of Norma and I's. And it's just some easy movements, but you can sing along with us. And it's really just a singing prayer. We like to call our energy into this room and leave the world outside these doors. Just allow this hour to be a blessing to your soul and to remember the truth and the power that lives within you. And so let's get started. We invite you to please sing. I am in your sacred light. I feel the radiance of all life. My heart is open, oh Lord. Let me know your will. I am in your sacred light. I feel the radiance of all life. My heart is open, oh Lord. Let me know your will. I am in your sacred light. I feel the radiance of all life. My heart is open, oh Lord. Let me know your will. I am in your sacred light. I feel the radiance of all life. My heart is open, oh Lord. Let me know your will. Let me know your will. Singing. And so it is.
Morning, everyone. Another beautiful day in Boulder, in paradise. Okay, is there anybody here from another Unity? Raise your hand. We've got a fabulous gift for you if you are. All right, is there anybody here for the first time? Oh, keep your hand up, way up. We have a fabulous gift for you. Anybody else on this side? Keep your hand way up. Good. It's a bag of marijuana. Don't smoke it all during the service. Okay. Hey, so this grasshopper ambles into this bar, hops up on a stool, and says, "I'd like a cold beer." And the bartender draws the beer, places it in front of the grasshopper, and says, "You know, we serve a drink named after you." The grasshopper wipes the foam from his lips and says, "Why would anybody name a drink Murray?" You're going to love this talk being given by Cintisha, so hang in there and enjoy.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Boulder. My name is Mike Shadle. I'm the administrator here. I take care of the building and make sure everyone's needs are met here. So if you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, please come see me. My office is right over here in the bookstore. I always love sitting down and having a chat with anyone who comes on in. So we have a few, we're just about to start really ramping up and start getting busy with a lot of groups and events here at Unity of Boulder as we're getting back into the regular season of our year. So we've got a few book groups starting. September 13th, we're going to have a men's and a women's book group. They're both $85. They're 8 weeks long. They're $85. I already said the price. The men's group is going to be led by Steve Hayes, and the book is going to be called To Be a Man. You can get that over in the bookstore. That's $18. And the women's book group will be led by Cintisha, and the book she's doing is Broken Open by Elizabeth Lesser, and you can also get that in the bookstore. And you can sign up for that class after the service or online. We really would ask that you sign up sooner rather than later. We are limiting both these book groups to a certain number. And it really helps us out to know how many people are going to be there beforehand. So if you are looking to sign up, please do it well before September 13th. Oh, and by the way, those are Tuesday nights that group takes place on for 8 weeks. And starting Sunday, September 11th, we are going to resume our Conscious Communication drop-in group, and that takes place on our second and fourth Sundays from 1 to 3 p.m. You don't have to sign up for it. You just drop in. It has a $10 suggested love offering. And our Conscious Communications class is taught by Centisha's assistant, Steve Hayes, who's been teaching conscious communication for many, many years and is a definite master at it. All right, what else we've got going on here? Oh, live in concert. Saturday, September 24th, we are going to be welcomed back to our center, Alethea Rising, and that is a 2-piece a cappella band that you've seen before. We've had them on our stage as musical guests. That's with Dinah Snow and Sierra Samuel, who you might recognize from probably all of our Christmas and Easter shows for the past, I don't know how long, but they put on an absolutely beautiful, haunting show. It's $12, bring your own refreshments, and just like the last thing, please, if you're interested in going to that, please sign up for it or get your tickets as early as possible so we know how many people are coming to that. Today, following our service at 1:30 today, we are going to have our Spirit in Motion, ecstatic spiritual dance practice going on over here in Fellowship Hall, which will be led by Steve Hayes. And this is a dance class where there's no real form to it. It's however you feel like dancing. It's only mildly guided. It's just a space to feel free and authentic and do whatever you want to do. Suggested love offering anywhere from $12 to $18 on a sliding scale. So please come check that out. It is a great time. Everyone who attends it just says they have so much fun. And there's no amount of experience necessary. You don't have to be a trained dancer. Anyone who just wants to go and move with other people can join that. So the big news is next week is our Welcome Back Sunday. And what Welcome Back Sunday is that is the day of the year we're kind of welcoming everyone back from their summer vacations. Everyone's going back to school. We're all getting back on our regular schedules. And so this is where we say, come on back to everyone. We'd love to have a lot of you who've been watching, even though we love having you watch online. We love having you join us. We'd love to have you come in and see what it's been a while since you've been in here and sat with us. Please come on out and join us. This is the weekend this is the Sunday where if you have someone you've been wanting to bring to Unity or has talked about Unity or hasn't come to Unity in a while, this is a great Sunday to bring them back. We will be switching back to a 9 a.m. meditation service and an 11 a.m. celebration service like what you're going to see here today at this service. There'll be a potluck following the 11 o'clock service, so bring some food or just come join us either way. We're going to have a jumpy castle for the kids. We're going to do my favorite thing that we do all year long. It's where Jack does a pet blessing, so you could bring a dog, a cat. We've had people bring in fish before, and not a joke. The real thing that's happened. And Jack will give them a very nice blessing. It's a beautiful, cute, fun event. So please, everyone come on out for next week for Welcome Back Sunday at either service, the 11 or the 9 a.m., or stay for both and the potluck. So now I'd like to welcome today's musical guest, who we've not had on our stage in quite some time, but you'll definitely recognize her as one of our Unity soloists at all of our Easter and Christmas performances. She is a music therapist, and she's sung in the choir here at Unity of Boulder for over 10 years. So I'd like to welcome back to our stage, Susan Bockoff.
illusions I really don't know clouds at all. Moons and Junes and Ferris wheels, the dizzy dancing way you feel when every fairy tale comes real. I've looked at love that way. Now it's just another show. You leave 'em laughing when you go. If you care, don't let them know. Don't give yourself away. I've looked at love from both sides now, from win and lose, and still somehow it's love's illusions I recall. Really don't know love at all. Tears and fears and feeling proud to say I love you right out loud. Dreams and schemes and circus crowds, I've looked at life that way. But now old friends are acting strange. They shake their heads, they say I've changed. Something's lost and something's gained in living every day. I looked at life from both sides now, from win and lose, and still somehow it's life's illusions I recall. I really don't know love at all. I look at life from both sides now, from win and lose, and still somehow it's life's illusions I recall. I really don't know life at all.
Beautiful, Susan. I love that song. That song reminds me of my grandmother. My grandma Deering loved that song. And she's truly my angel from the other side, so that was the perfect song to think of her before I walked out here today. So today, many of you probably already read what this talk is about, so I don't really want to read through that. Just, I'm sure you get what the point is so that I don't have to go into the details of what, because I don't want to get, because this is for teenagers, so I want to talk to the teenagers, and I know we don't have many in here, but I really want this to go out to our community and the teenagers, giving them the tools that this unity practice gives to empower young people to stay true to the divine power that lives within them. And so I want to speak to them. And if you don't have a teenager, I'm sure you have nieces and nephews and you have grandchildren and you know of children. And we're here to be the advocates to protect these young people as they go through the hard part of life, which is the teenage years, especially in a world like it is right now. And so we tasted a little bit of an experience with somebody from our center in the last few weeks, and I wasn't going to speak to this topic. And then Thursday, I finished my sermon. And right when I was done, I just sat in meditation with my sermon, and an incredible wave of grief hit me. and I realized I was avoiding the topic of what Spirit wanted me to speak to. And so I had already sent the ad to Heather, and I said, stop, I'm not going to speak on that. We'll do that another day. So the new talk title is Be Still and Know I Am With You and I Will Protect You. I want to keep that owl up there because I love that picture of the ad. This picture lives in my living room wall, and it's just a really bad photocopy that I actually found in the bookstore that Heather had printed and was in a frame, and it was from our Sunday school. And I said, can I have this? She's like, well, I was just going to throw it away. And I was like, there's something about this picture that is so holy. There's just no words, because I like to think of God or Spirit or Source as animals speaking to us. You know, I think from those parents that have had children cross over to the spirit realm, we use the animals as a way to communicate with our children, right? And so the owl is this big, powerful animal totem, and I'm going to speak to that in a little bit. But I feel like we can put any child that we have in our lives that's concerning us in our own families. That could be a little girl just as much as that could be a little boy. It's just a matter of just seeing Spirit protecting. I just love that feeling like something else is looking out for them beyond just ourselves. Because if we feel like we're carrying the power to hold the space to get these kids navigate through this time, my friend Deb, who's going to speak with you in just a little bit, said to me, the teenage years and the way the brain is, it's like the car has taken off and there is no brakes. And isn't that the feeling of anxiety we feel as parents when our kids are in the teenage? We actually feel that way, I think, all along, but especially in the 13 to 20-something age, depending on how grounded and how rooted they've become into their 20s, right? So I wanted to look upon the Bible and see some of the promises about Spirit protecting our children. And this is what I came across in Jeremiah. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Plans to give you hope and a future. And so when I was sitting with my own feelings, I didn't want to write this sermon from a state of fear, right? But I was meeting my own energy as a mother with two teenagers at the time, which I don't think any parent should have two teenagers at the same time. It's super stressful. And then try to have a career and try to inspire people. It's like, talk about having to practice using the tools and remembering we've got these prayers, we've got affirmative prayer, we can see them whole and perfect, but that doesn't mean that any parents have had their kids cross over prematurely didn't have those same prayers going for their children. So it's really a talk about teens becoming empowered about their own divine light and finding joy in the mundane, finding a place where they can be in absolute presence of the all-knowing, the all-beauty, which is in nature, right? Sharing with our kids that there's so many ways to decompress and put an energy on ourselves, kind of like the weighted blankets we put on our animals when they're in stress, right? Kids have lots of anxiety nowadays. Many of the kids have been diagnosed with ADD or ADHD. And is that really a syndrome, or is that just really the pace of this world and what is expected on them? I mean, I think all of us feel a little ADHD a lot because of the level of what we have to keep up with, right? So I then read this Bible quote. Or actually, this is from, I actually want to go back to this Bible quote from Proverbs, which says, do not confess the negative thoughts in your mind, rather speak life to every situation around you. Do not confess the negative thoughts in your mind, rather speak life to every situation around you. So that's what I've been called to do today. I don't want to speak to these negative thoughts that I have going on in my mind. I want to speak life to those who are ready and around me that are doing these practices and utilizing these tools to better their own lives. Oh boy, I'm not in the mood for that today. Okay, am I good? Okay. You all were here like a month ago when I had an entire service where I was just undoing microphones. I've already learned that lesson, okay? Okay. So I'm feeling called to teach kids how to serve each other and give back. I'm teaching kids how to love themselves and that there really is nothing to give to others until they know themselves and love themselves. And this sermon will be for you and that younger child in you that maybe didn't get some of this approach in your early years, and maybe it'll fill in some of those gaps that some of us are still experiencing as adults. I'm invested in helping young people discover the power within them, the many avenues to discover Spirit's guidance in all matters, to assure them that they are never alone, no matter what they are facing. The universe, the Spirit, God is always right at hand, right in the very midst of you, right when you take the time to be quiet and stop looking to someone else for the answer of what you're needing in your life and becoming reverent to this moment. Spirit speaks always in the silence. It speaks through beautiful music that touches your heart, that empowers you because you remember that everybody has been through the difficult stuff. You realize you're not alone, right? And I know that social media plays a big part in what's driving and guiding our young people to what is important versus spirit and source, right? So there's so much more we can do with our spiritual lives when we turn off the phones. And we're going to go into some facts about those phones and how, as parents, it's crucial that we really keep an eye on the social media and what our children are looking at, whether they like it or not. Number 5 of our 5 basic principles in unity says this: knowing and understanding the laws of life, also called truth, is not enough. A person must live the truth that he or she knows. Through thoughts, words, and actions, we live in the truth we know. Through thoughts, words, and actions, we live in the truth we know. But knowing and understanding the laws of life, also called truth, is not enough. Today we're taking action. I'm taking action. And I'm hopefully empowering you to take action when it comes to the young people in your life. To not look past them, because I feel like I speak here to adults. And I'm giving you these same lessons to empower you, to love thyself, to see in your mind's eye what you want to create so that you can manifest it, to be holy and whole and in a state of homeostasis. But this message, most importantly, needs to go on to the next generation and the one after that and the one after that, so that we have these wonderful kids in this world that still shares this message, that cares about our planet and cares about each other and is a shelter unto one another. Because at this phase, they don't want to hear from us parents. So I'm kind of giving this talk to my kids right now. Because I can say this in the living room, but they're like, okay already, can we go to our friend's house now? Right? But if they have friends that are mirroring it when they're having a hard time, isn't that much more impactful and powerful? So right now I want to invite my friend Deb King up here, who has been in the church for 35 years, I believe. She's a close mentor of mine and a very close friend, and she's been there through the happy, the sad, the dark, and we've been there for each other through all of it, and I just thought she's going to give some powerful resources to help our teens. Thank you, Deb.
Is this mic on?
Yes, it is.
Hi, I'm Deb King. So I have been a part of this Unity Church for 35 years. I'm up here to speak professionally because I've also been a family therapist and a family therapy program director for 32 years. And before that, I worked with tweens and teens in residential treatment for 8 years. I raised my 2 kids in Unity and mostly as a single mom. When my kids were in middle school, high school, I met my husband, Daniel, and he had 2 daughters, so then there were 4 teenagers. My 2 kids were raised in Unity, from the time they were small children through YOU and Uniteens. My daughter Alyssa is 29 now and a dentist in Nashville, and when I hear her talk spiritually, I comment, and she goes, "But Mom, I was raised in unity, of course." And I also have to say that I lost my son Noah in 2008 at age 18 in a drowning accident in Boulder. So I know what it is to lose a child. I'm here today to talk about how hard it is to be a teen in this current scary, crazy world. Some things that can help the teens and are applicable to adults too. The developmental tasks of teenagers and some things you as parents can do to help, and some signs that a teen is in trouble, in real trouble, and some resources. So first, teens and tweens currently have a huge amount of challenges, pressures, and things to worry about. Going back to school post-COVID shutdown, hard on so many of them. There's climate change, there's the political divide, there's the war in Ukraine. Then, closer to home, there are academic expectations and the pressure to succeed, the pressure to be popular, pressure to look a certain way, pressure to excel in sports, those go on. And then, at home, their parents may be in conflict. There may be a sick or troubled family member. Parents might be getting a divorce. There might be family financial struggles, maybe physical or emotional abuse in the home. Most of these things cannot be seen on the surface and are not known by their peers or their teachers. Kids often keep these things secret and think they must deal with them alone and sometimes fix them, and it makes life very hard for them. Also, no matter who you are, almost nobody in middle school and high school feels good enough. No matter if you're cool or popular or an athlete, inside you don't feel good enough. Outside, everyone thinks you have the perfect life. Whether you're a teen or an adult, there's a lot you can't control. However, you can have some control over the choices you make and where you put your attention, where you put your focus, and that can make a huge difference in your life as a teenager or as an adult. The developmental tasks of teenagers so for teens, it's a time of identity, figuring out who you are, what you care about, what makes you unique, your values, your passions, your skills, your talents, and also who you're not. It's a time of individuation from parents and taking on more responsibility as you become more independent. There's big physical changes, which I won't go into here, and there's changes in brain structure, which completely rewires itself between the ages of 13 and 23. So it's basically a time of massive change for you as teenagers and for you as parents of teenagers, because you have to figure out the balance of letting go and holding on, the balance of keeping your kids as safe as you possibly can and letting them have the independence to figure out who they are. So how you can support their teens, how you can support their teens as parents. First, praise their effort, not the outcome. For example, if they put in a lot of work on a school project or paper and then don't get a great grade, don't focus on the grade, focus on, you worked really hard, you did your best, this is fabulous. Encourage your child to do the best they can. Don't compare your kids or kid with their siblings or other kids. All kids are different. All kids have different strengths. All kids have different things they have to overcome. Help your kid build self-worth with telling them what they do right, not what they do wrong. We're so quick to tell ourselves what we do wrong and our kids what they do wrong. Tell them what they do right. And be specific with compliments. Don't say, oh, you're a great kid, everyone loves you. Say, I really like how you helped your friend when he fell off his bike, or I really like the effort you put into that, or I really like how kind you are. Otherwise, they just go, oh yeah, of course my mom thinks I'm great, but I'm not. Support opportunities for them to try new things. activities, camping, travel, to join new groups. That can open up a whole new world for them and support who they are. I know my kids went to the groups here in Unity as tweens and teens, and that they really loved it here, and it made a big difference in their lives and who they were. And I know that's true of many kids in youth groups of all kinds. Listen to their opinions without judgment or criticism. They are developing their own values and thoughts. Listen to what they want to do and their long-term goals and dreams without telling them who they should be and what you think they should do and be. That's a big one for parents. You know, we want to help our kids avoid mistakes. We want to help them make good choices, and it's their life. If you read Khalil Gibran's quote on children, our children are not our children. They are the sons and daughters of life itself. They have their own life to live and figure out. Lessen the pressure on them to excel academically and in other areas. It doesn't really matter, and as they become adults, that's a more important time in their life. It doesn't matter what college they go to. It doesn't matter that they do go to college. I went to a lecture from a good family therapist, and he said, "Why do you think God created community colleges?" I have many, many friends who didn't go to college right out of high school and had really successful careers. So, you know, to pressure your kids academically and lose the heart connection with them, it would be a mistake. Be realistic about who your kids are, and what your expectations are of them. Again, kids have different strengths. Kids have different places they need to work on. Hug them and show physical affection if they feel comfortable with it. A lot of parents stop touching their kids as they reach the teenage years, and then kids don't get the affection they need. Ask kids how you can support them. Ask how they feel, and listen without trying to fix things for them or tell them they're wrong. Those are just a few ideas of being a parent that a teen, a tween, a kid, a college student, whatever, will come to and share. And they may not share. They may find other adults that they find to be important in their lives. And teenage and tween years are a time when they look to their peers much more than they look to their parents. That will change back when they get older, as research shows, but in the middle school, high school years, their peers are a huge influence. Okay, so this is a list I made for teenage kids and adults too, to feel more positive, more grounded, and especially if you're having a hard time, if you're struggling with feelings or what you perceive as having not done well enough. Spend time in nature, whatever that means, and for however long, 5 minutes or an hour or a day. Nature's a healer. Notice the beauty around you, the things you appreciate, practice gratitude. If you have a gratitude practice of once a day saying, "I really appreciate this today," it helps change your point of view. Spend time with your pet or pets if you have them. Make time to have fun, relax, play, and laugh. And as a parent, make sure your kids have time to have fun, play, laugh, relax. It's really important for their development, as is moving your body. Walk, dance, play frisbee, play sports for fun, you know, just fool around with your friends. Be creative in some way. Listen to music that you like, and especially music that lifts your spirits. Recognize what you like about yourself, both who you are as a person and what you do in the world. As Sintish said, limit your exposure to negativity on your screen, on the TV. There's a lot that's put out in the world, and it can overwhelm us. Stay away from negative people who suck up your energy. Surround yourself with positive people, positive friends. Don't channel your energy into worrying about what you cannot control. Be of service. Help others. Do your part to heal the world in some small way. Stay focused on the good things in your life. Look at what you have. Look at what's right. Look at what you can appreciate. Can you walk? Do you have enough to eat? Do you have friends? These are important, and to not focus on what you don't have. Trust in the wisdom of the universe. Know that you are a soul in the soul school that is planet Earth. Learning, growing here. All right, and I want to say, especially for parents of teens or teenagers, be realistic about expectations of yourself and others. Not everyone can be popular. Not everyone can be the top football star. It's okay. Keep things in perspective. Know that you're not perfect. Your parents and teachers and friends are not perfect. Forgive yourself for making mistakes. Forgive others for the mistakes they make. If you're struggling and this is a dark time for you, know that things will change over time, because time does change things. If you're struggling, ask for help. This takes courage, but it's worth it. Find a friend, a parent, or another adult to talk to. In this state of Colorado, you can see a counselor for support at age 15. You don't need parental permission or consent to see a therapist or counselor. So you don't even have to let them know you're going. You may need their help paying, however. So I made a list of some signs when kids or teens really are in trouble, really need help, really need added support. So this is something to pay attention to in yourself if you're a teen, in your friends, or if you're a parent of a teen or a kid. If they withdraw from their friends and family, if they isolate, a loss of interest in their usual activities and things they like to do, changes in eating or sleeping patterns, if you notice a change in personal hygiene or appearance, feeling anxious, depressed, or hopeless all of the time, extreme mood swings, feeling like they're in unbearable pain, taking dangerous risks, and engaging in self-destructive behaviors like cutting and eating disorders. The use, starting to use, or the increase in use of alcohol or drugs, feeling trapped, feeling worthless, feeling like they're a burden to others. Teens and parents of teens, these are signs to take seriously. If you experience them, if you notice your kid experiencing them, if you notice a friend experiencing them, talk to someone you trust. If you can, tell your parents. Tell them you need help or a friend needs help. Asking for help does not mean you're weak or a failure. It will take courage, and it hopefully will start you on the path to healing, to help you get the help and relief you need. There are people who care about you and want to help you, people who love you, even though you may have not paid that much attention to this because you feel so bad. There are some great counselors in this town who will listen and support you with confidentiality, meaning that if you go to see them, they will not go back to your parents and tell them everything you talked about. Confidentiality means that the only time they will tell your parents is if you are in serious threat to harm yourself or others. Counselors, therapists will give you tools to cope and help you address what's going on with you. These are for kids who are in harm's way and who need added support, okay? Not every teenager needs this. I made a list of resources. There are handouts in the lobby of the signs kids need help, of the other things you can do to make yourself feel better, and developmental stages. So the resources, there are two that have lower cost for counseling, about $30 a session, Boulder Emotional Wellness and the Naropa Community Counseling Center. Psychology Today has a website that I listed, and there's a community crisis support line and a suicide prevention line. So those are resources that hopefully you won't need, but they're there if you do. Also, if you feel like talking to me would be helpful, you can leave your name and number and the best times to reach you with Heather in the office, which is open starting Tuesday. It's closed tomorrow. And I will try to get back to you and talk to you. So in conclusion, being a teen is really hard. It's a tough time in life for everybody who goes through it, and all of you have gone through it because you're here. Both developmentally and what's currently happening in the world, teens need extra support right now. As a teen or as an adult, you'll probably feel overwhelmed many times. Sometimes it feels so hard that you won't make it through, but there are things you can do to relieve the pressure and to feel better, and there are ways you can get support and help if you need it. So please ask for that help, or please see that your child asks for that help. Thank you.
I think you just gave my whole sermon.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Thank you, Deb. Super enlightening and helpful to hear all of that. So if you could turn on the sound, I'm going to give an example of a sound that you can play around your children if they're having anxiety issues. It's called brown sound. And I'm going to play it while I speak today so that you can feel how you actually feel your entire body relax. If anything, you might actually get a little bit tired. I was working with it yesterday, fine-tuning my sermon. Next thing I'm just passed out on my couch. But it also helps with cognitive stimulation to retain all of the things you're reading in your homework and everything. So it does both sides. It works with just overactive, levels of ADHD, ADD, other things we all have, with our brains and what the world is causing to happen with our brains. So I left it with taking action when we know that we need to. We know the tools, we know what we need to do, and then it's a matter of taking action. It's when we finally feel like we can no longer go ahead and do something the way we used to do it. I had that experience a few months ago at Unity Village. I've always been paleo, has been my diet my whole life. It just worked with my energy level and all these different things. And then I was at Unity Village, and there was a speaker from India that talked about veganism. And something for once just resonated, and I could no longer eat meat. Like, it just shifted that day. I've been to many talks like that. I didn't go vegan. I'm still eating dairy and eggs and things like that, but absolutely haven't touched a piece of meat in 2 months, and I've never felt better, actually. But it's like when you hit that threshold, when it's like finally it's time somewhere in your consciousness to move to this next level, it happens. And you don't beat yourself up until you're there. But this is just a silly example of it. But there's a time where we finally go, you know what, I am going to finally speak my truth or live my truth in this situation, even if that's going to upset my spouse or that's going to upset the nucleus that I'm living in, because I can no longer live out of alignment of my divine guidance, right? And so that's also part of being a parent, is, always growing ourselves, that we can be a better and greater example of what God can do through us, so that they know they can also lean upon that greater something. That greater power, that greater love that moves and shifts and grows us as needed, right? So for instance, we work with the law of attraction, and we talk about the law of attraction in Unity, but it's really just the basic beginners part. We call it the bubble gum part of spirituality. It's just a way to get kids to understand how spirit works, so that they can use it and they go, whoa, that actually works, right? We give them, and we tell them to come up with your own image. You come up with a dolphin, or you come up, whatever word. They're like, oh, I was thinking of, mountain bikes or something. And so you just say, okay, so just put that to the universe that you want to start mountain biking, or you like bikes. And the next thing, and then count how many times bikes cross your path. The word bike, bikes, things just show up constantly that week, and how it's just basically the only topic that's showing to you, to prove that what you put out there in your consciousness comes back to you. So if knowing thyself and loving thyself is an attribute and an energy that we're putting out there, right, it's blessing others. And it will come back to us, right? So as we develop ourselves, it's not selfish to love ourselves, to really like ourselves. You know, my kids always say, God, you think you're so funny. You always laugh so much harder than we do at your own jokes. You know, and I'm okay with that. As long as I'm laughing, right? I think I'm a crack up. Maybe they don't. Okay, fine. I don't take myself too seriously. I love my humor. And nobody, you know, fine, you don't get it. Great, right? But that's who I am. And I know that when I'm gone, they'll remember that about me, that I laughed a lot. Because nobody hates being around someone that's laughing, right? That chooses to be an optimist and to be a happy person, regardless of the hard stuff that's happening in life, that they're choosing to see through a full glass that life is still joyful, that life still has purpose and a reason to be here, that every day is still a miraculous experience, regardless of what's going on in the world. And you could see how the world could get our young people down right now. And a big part of us growing our children is for them to understand that the people they surround themselves with is extremely crucial. Extremely crucial, right? The wrong crowd of kids around a kid can, when they don't even know themselves yet and are impressioning their own likes, dislikes, are getting involved with things we really don't want our kids, we got to pull the kids out even if they're not going to like us for a little bit. My parents were very much that way. They would see and I attracted some lower natured entities. I liked them because they were funny. I liked dark humor. That was kind of, my parents were from New York. They kind of had that type of humor, so I was attracted to these kind of lower natured, you know. But in the end, when they pulled me out of it, it was good. And then I found people with that same humor that lived from light too, right? So as we watch our kids, we can't be their friends during this phase. This isn't the phase of being friends with them. This is the phase that we guide them and direct them and protect them. And as Deb said, and when we know they need help, we get them the help that they need, right? In Unity, we tend to think we can only do it ourselves. We have to do it ourselves. We have to do it ourselves. I've had to reach out to a life coach, and I want to have Zoilita stand up real quick. This woman is so unbelievable and has changed the life of one of my children in a way that I have no words. And my parents never sent me to counselors. You know, I had the greatest youth directors at our church, and I didn't want to let the youth director down. I was good with letting them down, my parents. But I didn't want to let down my YOU director. I wanted to be there on time. Mentors are huge. Mentors that are not the mom and dad, because the mom and dad, you're breaking away. You're jumping out of the nest. You're needing to find that distance because that love is so good. But you have to have somewhere that holds the honesty compass, the one that keeps you still in your truth, that follows your intuition, that will be a mirror of your goodness even when you're looking pretty ugly in this world, right? So essentially, for all of us, including teens, the goal on the spiritual journey is to catch the true meaning of life, which is predictive, directive, protective, with the deep promise that you can overcome any obstacle put in your way. With the promise that you can overcome any obstacle in your way. And beyond that, you kids hold the key to your happiness, to your health, to your studies, to your friendships, to the song, your love song with life. You all have a love song with life. And don't let anybody outside of you talk you out of that love song. Find the group that supports the love song you have for life. It doesn't have to be the same dream, but if they want to support you and you want to support theirs, that's beautiful. Friendship, deep friendship, is one of the greatest gifts we can ever have in life. And I always said this to my child that was having a difficult time, that needed this support, and got the life coach that has been working with her. You don't need a bunch of different friends. It's kind of like you don't have to be popular. Not everybody's going to be the football player. Not everybody's going to be the pretty girl. Not everybody's going to be the prom king and queen. I mean, come on. But if you have one good friend, one, you don't need the 10 good friends. Like that's washed out. But if you have one really good friend, you've got a shelter unto you. It's like that picture of the owl, if we could put it back up, and that protection, that love. Sometimes your friend is the owl and you're sitting there praying. And sometimes you take place and you're the owl and they're the ones that's sitting there being supported. When we feel like we have that kind of support in the school system, in our desires, going after anything, we don't need them to live in our vicinity, but we know that they're a phone call away to say, I'm really scared right now. Or I really don't know what to do right now. And that friend knows you and loves you and will stay on that phone for 12 hours if they have to, till they climb you out and now you're standing next to each other. Nobody has to be the protective owl. That's what you should seek. Not many friends, not popularity, not being the pom squad, not do those things if they make you happy. But the most important thing we can teach our kids is to really like themselves. So like what Deb said, pointing out why they're amazing. When they went out of their way to be helpful. When you saw that little gentle something. So the next thing we do is we teach them the words of the I am. The I am, the simplest practice we have in Unity. Oh my gosh, am I running over? I knew this was going to happen. Deb, we could have done like 3 talk series on this. I am. I'm going to leave it with this. The words I am, the greatest words for God. This is so easy for teenagers. This is all you ever have to remember. I am. When you're feeling down and you're feeling lost, think of the word I am and fill it in with what you need to know about yourself that day. I am amazing. I am strong. I am happy, even though you're in the darkest place. I am happy. Speak it to the universe till your body believes it. Talk to that subconscious, rebuild it, and tell yourself, I am happy, I am happy. Wake up and tell yourself you're happy, even if your body wants to tell you, no, you're not. And watch how you can rebuild this brain and start making it a happy brain. I am smart. Smart doesn't mean you're great at school. I was not great in school. I liked people too much. I liked hanging out with the person behind me and talk to them all the time. I was back in the day that I had a teacher that would just throw chalk at the back of my head to get me to turn around and pay attention. I also went to a private school. He did it in love. I am inspired. I am free. I am perfect. I am a perfect child of God. That's all I need to know. And everything else will fall into place. Unfortunately, I was talking to a young person in their early 20s the other day, and I said, how is this person? And she said, I feel like I need to figure out my entire life. I feel like I need to know what I need to be doing with my life, and I feel like there's a deadline, and I feel like, and this list was like, and the anxiety and the pressure, I was feeling nervous for this person. I'm like, wait, I'm starting to believe that you actually have to figure out this deadline. You're 25 years old. You're already doing a great work. But you might not want to, you don't know what it all turns out to be like. We think in our 20s we have to figure out what we're going to be. Or at 14, people ask our kids that all the time. 14? Did anybody know what they wanted to do at 14 years old? If you did, your parents probably told you what that was. Right? 25? I didn't know what I wanted to be. I was already a mom. The secret is I still don't know what I want to be. Right? How many lifetimes have we lived to the time you're my age? I've lived 5 different lifetimes, it feels like. And every one of them has been filled with passion and light and excitement. I don't know that this is going to be the only thing that I do in 10 years from now. Probably, but I'm not attached that it has to be the same deadline. When you let go of your deadlines that you have to do something by 20, or you have to do something by 15, you have to do it by 25, you have to do it by 30, this is the greatest thing to create anxiety and depression. It is the overwhelm that is taking our children out of this world. When you realize there is no moment but this moment, embrace this moment. Make this moment holy. Make this moment happy. Make this all there is. In this moment, you can tune your cord to happiness, to peace, and to light. And then you can cultivate that, and you can meditate on that. And the more and more you can be in the presence, the power of the presence, your life will fall into your lap unbeknownst to you. You will not believe the life that you have landed into because you are in allowance. Spirit will drive and guide and direct everything about your life. Quit worrying about what tomorrow is. Get in that alignment and love yourself. That's the only job you have to do. And love thyself. And as you do, mirror that to your friends so they find that in them. That's all you're being asked to do. Then speak I ams. And don't look to the future and think you have to figure it out. Let it go when you hear that voice that's pushing you and making you anxious. Listen to brown noise. You can find it on YouTube. And just get into the presence and let Spirit now take the wheel. We'll take an offering for unity now. I was going to bring this up. I have this great book, and this is fun for like late teens and early 20s. This is an astrology book with everybody's birthday on it. I'm going to leave it in the front lobby. You're welcome to go photocopy your day. This is a great way to find out a little secret about yourself, and you get to find out who got famous and what they did. You'll be really surprised how the vocations that you are feeling attracted to, the people had massive successes in them, and it will validate your intuition. So I'm going to put this in the front lobby, and my secretary's going to be in the bookstore, and she can photocopy your birth dates. And then all of these resources, there's 3 pages of resources that Deb left in the lobby, and you can help yourself to all of them. And if you need a digital copy, if you're online, I can send those out on Tuesday. Just send an email to info@unityofboulder.com, and I'll get any of these resources out. And I'll even photocopy your birthday and send it to you.
Right.
Oops, excuse me.
Well, you're in a hurry to sing, aren't you? Okay, no, it's all right. Stick around, it's okay. I'm only going to be a few minutes, maybe 10. Can you stand? Well, it's such a pleasure to listen to Cinticia share what she actually lives. That's what she lives, and she is one of the most delightful people, as most of you know, that you'll ever meet. She wasn't always that way, you know. In fact, we tried to teach her to be a little more morose, but she's not, so that's the way it goes. So we've been, once again, Deb King helped us understand a little bit about how do we deal with our children, but also how do we deal with ourselves. And Cinticia followed that up with a beautiful message. It's always something that we can put into practice in our lives, and it will make a difference when we do that. So now we have an opportunity to give back. And those people watching live stream, these are the different ways that you can tithe to Unity of Boulder. Everyone here will take a regular offering with these baskets. So let's all just bring to mind that financial gift we'd like to make to Unity of Boulder. Let's bless it with this offering prayer. Divine love is my true life and my conscious destiny. Therefore, I give. So it is.
Just tell him plain you're on the next train if love don't get there first. Time and love, everybody. Time and love. Nothing cues like time and love. Don't let the devil fool you. Here comes the dawn. Nothing cues like time and love for a man. If you think that you can. So winter froze the river, and winter birds don't sing. Winter makes you shiver. Well, time is gonna bring you spring. You've been running, you've been rambling, and you don't know what to do. A holy golden wager says that love will see you through. Time and love, everybody. Time and love. Nothing cues like time and love. Don't let the devil fool you. Here comes the dawn. Nothing cues like time and love for the man. If you think. Was an angel, and mankind broke his wing. Jesus gave his lifeline so sacred bells could sing. Now a woman is a fighter, gathered white or African. A woman is a woman inside, with miracles for her man. And now time and love, everybody. Time and love. Nothing cues like time and love. Don't let the devil fool you. Here comes the dove. Nothing cues like time and love for the world. If you please, if you think that you can.
Thank you, Susan. Can I have the YOU come up here, please? So before the service, that's a picture of Indigo. You probably saw him at Easter. He's right in front of the black shirt on. He was one of our soloists in our Easter production. He became the regional representative for Unity, overseeing the YOU before the service, and he was being blessed by Unity on the Hills with all the other Regies, right? Was it, or is it just him that was being represented?
Yeah, me and one other.
Okay, so come on in here. So this next Sunday is the official beginning of our youth program, which is the Sunday school. These are the 14 and 18-year-olds. And we have the 11 to 13-year-olds, which is Uniteens. And it officially starts next week. So if you have teens or you have kids that you'd like to be a part of our youth program, I think we've explained some good reasons of why it's important to get our kids involved in the spiritual work. If you look at the amount of hours that kids are on cell phones, it's about 6.5 hours a day. And that works out to be about 2,700 hours a year. And in a spiritual program, they only get 52 hours a year. But what they get in those 52 hours are tools to literally thrive and be amazing and happy and grow what we were talking about today so that they can go out in this world and make a difference and be the mirror of that love. So let's all stand. And if you want to sign up for the Sunday School program, you can register in the bookstore today. And we're going to sing I Release and I Let Go. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm going here for God. No more struggling.
Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in my spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and then my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God.
And I want to let you know that we have prayer partners available to you today. If you need a prayer, you can stay seated and they'll come and find you. My friend Zolita is here if you would like to look into having a life coach for yourselves or your children. She'll be hanging out in this area, so come talk with her. She's incredible. She's changed a lot of people's lives in our church.
And last week, I would like to have people be in a choir to sing one of the opening hymns. It's going to be a great number. It's going to be inspirational. And if you just sign the sheet and I'm going to meet on Thursday. I don't know if Larry can make it, but we'll do it somehow on
The
Thursday.
first rehearsal is September 1st, Thursday the 1st, or did you want to start now?
I would like to start now for
Okay, she
that
wants to
Sunday.
start this Thursday at 6:30. If you're interested, that will be sitting right on this front pew, and
Yes,
you
you
can
want to
put your
open
name
with a
down.
really great number that everybody is going to be loving to sing.
All right, let's go into reception, and we're going to have
So it's
food.
right
And
here.
next week we have a potluck. I won't be having a ministers gathering with you guys today because we have a staff meeting to get ready for all the festivities of next week. All right, love you.